Fiscal year 2016 proposed budget for Prince George's County. This proposed budget, which is due annually via charter at this time to be presented to the County Council. The County Council will have to before or on June 1st to approve this budget. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Prince George's County Executive Rashawn Baker for the 2016 budget presentation.
Thank you, Scott. First of all, I'm very glad that somebody actually showed up. I was a little nervous whether no one would show up for this. Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. I know I don't see the council chair here, but we did meet with the council this morning, and so I want to thank Chair Franklin and Vice Chair Davis and the members of the council for meeting with us. And I look forward to presenting them the FY2016 proposed budget. I also want to thank who's up here with me today, Thomas Himmler, who is my Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Budget, Finance, and Administration. Give him a round of applause. And Terry Bacote Charles, who's our Director of the Office of Management and Budget. And let's give her a round of applause. And their whole team who put this budget together. We can give them a round of applause. Great job. It was an arduous task, but ultimately we were able to balance the budget. A budget that provides a framework for propelling the county into new heights and has structurally rebalanced to minimize the impact of revenues challenges in the near future. As I travel around the county, I am encouraged by the comments that I hear from residents that we are on the right track. Our successes are ongoing, but they did not come easy, and they didn't come by happenstance. We had a vision, and we turned that vision into bold action that pushed the accelerator and entered us into the highway of our destiny. Action that has led to unprecedented improvements in public safety. I see our state's attorney here, Angela Alsabrook. We give her a round of applause, and our chief and all of our public safety folks for doing a great job. It is because of their collective actions that we have seen the lowest crime drops in nearly 30 years. Action that has led to nearly $6 billion of development in the pipeline that will bring much needed jobs and revenues to the county. Action that has led us to change the governance structure of our public school system and enable us to attract one of the country's top superintendent, Dr. Maxwell. We can give him a round of applause. The proposed FY 2016 budget for all operating funds is $3.6 billion, an increase of $197 million, or 6% over fiscal year 2015. The general fund accounts for 84% of all spending in FY 2016 and will increase by $182 million, or 6%. County source revenues increased by $181 million, or 11%. This growth is primarily due to the proposed rate increase for real property, personal property, telecommunication, and hotel tax. Furthermore, the FY 2016 proposed budget preserves the county's general fund reserves, which is mandated by the county charter at 5%. An additional 2% is required by a county policy that has been in place since the Curry administration. In previous budget years, we stretched our resources and we made things work. Well, those days have passed. There's no more wiggle room, nor a funding well that I can dip into in order for us to maintain our AAA bond rating, which for counties is your credit score. This year's budget will focus on tough cost reductions and revenues enhancements that will directly impact our residents, businesses, and employees. The FY2016 budget maintains the critical investments that we have made to lead us to our destiny. Over the past few years, we have tried various ways to reduce costs. We instituted across-the-board departmental cuts. We instituted a hiring freeze, and we even offered early retirement options. While those efforts helped, they didn't help enough. So now we must take more drastic measures to reduce some of the long-term obligations that have had a significant impact on our budget over these last few years. Impacts like foreclosure crisis that hit our county, a limited commercial tax base, new personnel costs for teachers' pension that was shifted down to us. So as a result, this year's budget proposal includes 110 layoff of field positions in the county, 5 furlough days of all general fund county employees, including myself. Clearly, this is painful, but we do it as a last resort. We had to take steps that would help us reduce our deficits in years to come. We can no longer kick the can down the road. In addition to rebalancing our budget, our priorities are simple. We focus on investing in 2 important areas that will help our economy grow and will serve the residents and businesses of this county. And they are public safety and education. Our continued growth and success relies heavily upon the perception that our streets and neighborhoods are safe, that our school system is improving and can compete with our neighboring jurisdictions. Let's face it, the most sought-after counties in this region, this state, in this nation are the ones that are safe and have the best public education systems. Since the beginning of my administration, we have made public safety a top priority. We increased the number of officers, and we are taking a more holistic approach to addressing the challenging issues we face in the community we serve. Through programs like our innovative Transforming Neighborhoods initiative, our police department, in partnership with the Office of the Sheriff and our state's attorney, have helped us make amazing strides in reducing crime by 36% over the last 4 years. And homicides in that period dropped 40%. I think that deserves a round of applause. So in order to maintain the great work that they are doing, I'm proposing that the county make a significant investment in public safety to the tune of $644 million, which is an 8% increase over the current budget amount. The budget will include 2 new recruit classes for the police department. We'll add 100 new officers to offset attrition and continue our efforts to increase the number of officers protecting our neighborhoods and communities. It will also include the building and staffing of the new District 7 police station in the southern part of our county. In addition, we propose 1 class of fire and EMS recruits. The Office of the Sheriff will receive funding to fill 30 vacant deputy sheriff's positions. The Office of Homeland Security will receive funding to fill vacant emergency dispatcher positions to support emergency response. Mary Lou, the Office of Corrections, in the proposed budget will get 1 class of recruits of 30 officers to offset attrition, which will allow us to fill 14 civilian vacancies. We are also making investments in the new juvenile unit with 5 new positions, as well as our continued support of the reentry court. And to show our commitment, Madam State's Attorney, to domestic violence, we have allocated resources to create a new domestic violence unit in the Department of Family Services, including emergency assistance funds for victims of domestic violence. Thank you for your work on this issue. Our investment in public safety has paid dividends. Lives have been saved, our communities are stronger, and citizens can feel the change that is happening in public safety. But the other priority for us in this budget is our children and our schools. The budget will include $1.9 billion for our school system. It is unacceptable for our schools to not be ranked among the top school districts in this state. Yes, we are making strides, but we must move more rapidly, or we will continue to lag behind our counterparts in the region. We cannot wait, we cannot do it halfway, and we cannot be tentative in how we do it. This is our moment. This is our moonshot. This is what we were called to do. This is why I ran for county executive. We are going to make a difference. We took some major steps a few years ago in restructuring our school board. Now it is time for us to do something we haven't done in nearly 30 years. With all of the economic development growth that is happening around this county and will happen, we must ensure that every child and every school is ready for what's about to come. We not only want to catch up with our neighboring jurisdiction, I want to surpass them. No longer should educators in our school system be tempted to leave for better paying jobs elsewhere. No longer should parents be forced to move for better schools. No longer should parents have to choose to send their children to private school. That cycle must stop, and that cycle will stop now. That is the spirit that drives this budget proposal. In 2012, the state legislature gave us the ability, through the county council, to raise taxes solely to support educating our children. Solely for the purpose of educating our children. With this budget, I am asking the county council to do just that, to raise revenues to educate our children. And I'm asking Prince Georgians, the business community, to make a significant local investment in our education system to the tune of $133 million in fiscal year 2016, a 21% increase over fiscal year 2016 over 2015. This investment, through a combination of increases in real property and telecommunication and personal property taxes. However, we are proposing a supplemental tax credit program that will lighten the burden on our seniors in our county and families with a total household income of less than $60,000. This investment will ensure that our schools get stronger faster. And, Dr. Maxwell, Dr. Eubanks, and move our school system in the top 10 by the year 2020. I asked Dr. Maxwell to develop a plan that would get us there. The budget that Dr. Maxwell presented is part of the plan to move our schools forward more rapidly by investing in teachers, increasing rigor in our curriculum, expanding specialty programs so that every child and every school feels the impact. I am confident that this approach will help us move the needle in student achievement. For the second year in a row, student enrollment is back up. We have introduced and we have expanded new career academies that are providing our students with hands-on learning opportunities in information technology, in health and biochemical sciences, in cybersecurity, in aerospace engineering and technology. In fact, we've seen an increase in promotion rates for our ninth graders of 4%. Graduation rates are up. Yes, there is much work still to be done, but we're confident that the interventions that we are putting in place are starting to pay off. Confidence in our school system is increasing, but we have to do more, and we have to do it with a sense of urgency. I get this a lot, especially when I first start talking about this. First, they asked me, was I crazy? Then they said, why? Why now? Why are we doing this now? The answer to that question is simple. Because we've taken these last 4 years to assess our system and its needs. The answer is simple. Because our new governance structure is in place and we've had time to adjust to the changes. This funding plan will enable us to do things we haven't been able to do in quite some time, like invest $21 million to recruit and retain top teachers and administrators for our school system through competitive compensation and professional development, to invest $6 million in the digital learning literacy program so that our kids can compete with any children anywhere, to invest $14 million for more rigorous programs throughout all of our schools in the county, to invest an additional $2 million to expand our successful pre-K program to 16 additional sites and provide services to children and families that need more assistance. I am confident that this investment will make a difference because we will deliver resources to our schools in every neighborhood throughout this county. People will have questions, and therefore there will be information sessions that will take place around the county to give our citizens a chance to ask questions about what does this mean? How will it impact you and us? And the progress that I guarantee you we will make over the next 4 years. If we are to rapidly improve our school system, we have to make sacrifices. Now, I know, been around here long enough to know that it is uncomfortable. But true change and true transformation, it's never easy. That is why we grounded this budget in 3 primary objectives: achieving academic improvements in K-12 education across all schools, maintaining the county's commitment to provide a full range of public services, and ensuring the long-term financial integrity of this county. You may remember a couple of months back when it was nice and sunny outside, during my inaugural speech, I said that it was time for the county to accelerate our journey toward greatness by taking the highway to destiny. I think that feeling is summed up best by Marion Wright Edelman when she said, "The question is not whether we can afford to invest in every child. The question is not whether we can afford to invest in every child. It is whether we can afford not to." With this budget that I'm sending to the county council, I am asking them, I am saying to them, let's bet on our schools. Let's bet on our kids. Let's bet on Prince George's County. Thank you very much.
Mr. Baker will now take a couple questions from the media, and then after we'll just do about 2 or 3, and then if you still need him, Tom, Terry, afterwards, we can arrange that as well. Questions from the back? Ms. Valone?
Right now, what we've done is submitted the numbers we need to get to in this budget to the council, and we'll be working with them over the next several weeks about exactly which positions and what that means across.
Tracy.
The council has said in the past that they are opposed to furloughs.
I said that too, didn't I, during the campaign?
Prefer to see this money come out of the Economic Development Incentive Fund or other resources. What's your response to that?
Well, there are no other resources, and as far as the incentive fund, those are one-time funds we had, and we've done that in the past. We actually did that in the past. There's no more money used that's available to do that. So what we've said to the council and what this budget proposes is that our EDI fund is actually creating jobs and opportunities for the county. So we need to invest in that the same way we're investing in our public safety and the same way we're investing in schools. So that's what we would say to the council.
Michael, then who else? Michael.
So you guys are increasing real property taxes, and then you're also giving a telecom tax, and it's my understanding that real property assessments are also going up. So how kind of are you going to sell that to property owners in Prince George's County?
That when our education system improves, much like it's helped out with public safety, that the education system will make their property values go up. You know, there was an article about, you know, the rebound in Prince George's County compared with the rest of the region. The thing you should notice if you look at that article and you look at it, that the regions that have rebounded faster, rebounded because they all had really top-notch and they invested in their public education system. That's the reputation of the county. So if we want the values to go up in this county, then we have to invest in public schools.
Also, this is the first time in 30-something years that you guys are raising property taxes. Do you feel like this is kind of historic in any way?
I think you take the "kinda" out. No, I mean, this is our moment. You know, I think you have to be fair to other administrations and other times, and even this administration in the first 4 years. I couldn't do this when I first came into office because there were too many other things that were in the way. We needed to lay the foundation. A lot of that had to do with how we handled the budget that we had before us, how we handled public safety, how we delivered on health care, to make the confidence of citizens and residents of the county in our government to do the right thing. Now that we've restructured the governance structure for the school system, we brought on a top-notch superintendent. We've got a committed board chair. I think people are willing to give us a chance. And I, looked at it and said, this is our time. We cannot wait any further, and I won't wait. We're going to make this school system the top in this state, And by 2020, we will be in the top 10.
One last question, Aurelis, yours.
It's a two-part question. In terms of per pupil spending and making Prince George's comparable to the rest of the region, how much more money per student are we talking about?
Thomas.
For spending, and secondly, how does that, there's a response to some degree, right, to the fact that the state is reducing funds in Governor Hogan's part right now to restore those funds. How will your budget adjust, or how will the administration and the council adjust should those funds be restored?
Let me answer the last question first and then give the difficult question to Thomas. Clearly, I had a visceral reaction to the governor's budget where he cut our education system. But this budget is based on what I think we need to do to move us in the top 10 within the next 4 years. So even if those cuts are restored, we're still going to go forward with this amount asking the county, because the one thing the governor's cut would just maintain. That keeps us where we are. Those days are over. They're over, folks out there. They're over. We're moving up. And the only way we can do that is to make a significant investment in programs that will move us there. So we want our money back from the state. We think we deserve it. But we're also on our own. That's why we made the emphasis in the text that's local funds, local money, how we feel about us. That's what we're investing. Thomas?
And your other question, Aurelis, it's about $1,100 more per student with the additional funding.
Where does that bring us comparable to the rest of the region? Like, state from a
I mean, there had been generally a gap between 2,500 to 3,000 a student, so this will bring us closer to them.
Any more?
Oh, Tom, you want to go ahead? Last one for Tom.
You've got certain areas of the county that have seen a lot of economic growth. How concerned are you that at least short term this could hurt that?
You know what? I'm actually not, because as we go out and you ask any of the folks from David Iannucci, who's back there, or any of our folks from economic development, the question we're getting now is not about whether the county is safe or whether we understand that the green economy is coming, or healthcare. What we get is about our education system. When people, we're talking to military families to move here. Who wouldn't want to live near where they work? But the first question that comes up is, what's the school in my area? Am I in this particular school? Well, with this investment, they won't have to ask those questions, because they don't ask that when they go to Arlington or when they go to Montgomery County or they go to Howard County. Every part of this county will have quality schools, and people will know it. So no, I think the business community gets it. And I think that will make them invest in us even more. With that, thank you very much. Thank you for coming.